on the morning of August 25th, 2023, at exactly 12:19 a.m. GMT, where I live in, the wrestling world lost a very special person, and they've lost their brother, and they lost their friend, and the one I'm talking about is WWE Superstar Bray Wyatt, aka his real name, Windham Rotunda. When I first heard the news that Bray Wyatt had passed away on Twitter, I honestly couldn't believe it. And loads of people have been saying, "Oh, rest in peace, Bray Wyatt. Rest in peace, Bray Wyatt." And when WWE officially confirmed that Bray Wyatt passed away, I didn't cry like a big fat baby or smash or break things out of pure anger like when Bam Margera, like Bam Margera did when Ryan Dunn passed away in 2011. I just sat there, hand on my head, and I was like, Jesus, that's sad. That's what I was like. I'm at a loss for words, really. I mean, I can't believe that he passed away just too soon. I mean, he 36. I mean, that is such. I don't know, man. It's a hard pill to swallow. That. It's really emotional, and so I want to make this tribute to celebrate his life, but more importantly, we want to showcase why we're gonna miss this guy. So, first time I saw about Bray Wyatt was 10 years ago in July when he first came into the WWE main roster. Before he was Bray Wyatt, he was known as Husky Harris back in 2010 with his Days of the Nexus or whatever it is. And in 2013, he came back to WWE as a different character called Bray Wyatt. When I first look at this Bray Wyatt character, he was one of the most creepy, scary, weird individual. Where in reality, he really isn't. He was one of the nicest guys I've ever met. Because the Bray Wyatt character is the character that he created. The weird, cryptic, scary, warped individual. And when I first saw that character, I was really shivered in fear. But at the same time, I was very, wow, this guy could really change the face of the WWE with that gimmick. And hey, he did. Yeah, I mean, he really did. He really is a very special person. I mean, he's a big horror movie fan. Like I am. I'm a big horror movie fan. Like I'm a zombie movie fan. Like the Night of the Living Dead or Evil Dead, 28 Days Later, High School of the Dead, and but looking at this Bray Wyatt character as a horror movie fan, I was actually intrigued. I was actually blown away and mesmerized, and I was just, whoa, that was a great character and that nobody, I believe, has ever done before. And 2018, after many months and years of getting into that character, he teamed up with, I think one of my favourite ones, was he teamed up with Matt Hardy, called themselves the Deleters of Worlds. And he, at the time, to show my support for this tag team, I wore a Woken Warriors t-shirt when Matt Hardy was broken or woken, his gimmick. And I has this Woken Warriors t-shirt on it, and I had a wig that is similar to his hairstyle that he had back then. And I posted it on Twitter at the time, which is now known as X. And hoping to see if either Bray Wyatt or Matt Hardy or both would like it. And little did I know, well, Bray Wyatt didn't take the time to favourite it, but Matt Hardy did. Matt Hardy liked my tweet, and I was like, wow, that I was actually flustered by that. WWE Superstar actually liked one of my tweets, me dressing up as Matt Hardy to be a Woken Warrior. So yeah, that was brilliant. And I first saw him, and the first time ever, later in that year, that's when I first saw Bray Wyatt in person with his tag team partner Matt Hardy at a live event in Dublin. And I remembered bringing my mum to the event, right? And when Matt Hardy does his trademark thing, the delete, 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 and the whole crowd was doing the delete, delete, delete thing, and I was doing it too. And I used to, while I was doing the motion and saying delete, 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 I looked at my mum and they go, come on, Mum, you should do this. And I had no idea what she was doing, and she had no idea what this is about. So I said, go on, do the delete thing. And she was, and it cracked me up to this day. She goes, delete, 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 delete. that was so funny. Yeah, I mean that was. I don't know who they faced at a live event in Dublin back then, but I think they won and they retained the tag team titles at the time. I gotta give credit. I mean, that was brilliant. And 2019, which actually was one of my worst years, to be believe it or not, Bray Wyatt decided to change up a little bit, and he has created one of the most iconic characters of all time, called The Fiend. When I first looked at The Fiend, his new character called The Fiend, it was nightmare fuel. The mask was absolutely nightmare fuel. And that's really scary, but everyone loved it because everyone loves scary things, right? And yeah, and I was very actually mesmerized by that character, so much so, in actual fact, that I went and dressed up as him, as The Fiend, for Halloween of that year, 2019. It was making the mask using paper mache. It was difficult, but I did the best I could to cosplay as The Fiend. And in 2020, when everyone is in lockdown mode or whatever like that, when WWE at the time was producing cinematic matches and making sure that cinematic matches were the new norm for WWE. Well, until WWE went and introduced the Thunderdome in August of 2020 with all these people behind the virtual screens and everything else. They stopped doing cinematic matches. And I remembered one sunny evening, I thought about doing my own cinematic match with Bray Wyatt, with the help of this virtual meet and greet thing that you do via Zoom calls. I thought about virtually meet and greeting Bray Wyatt and come up with my own cinematic match that me and him could do. And I thought, because as a YouTuber and as a filmmaker, as everything else I've done, I've always wanted to work with people that are bigger than me and all that stuff, like wrestlers and all that. I've always wanted to work with loads of wrestlers that I grew up with, like Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, Seth Rollins, etc., etc., etc. And Bray Wyatt is one of them I want to work with. I remember coming up to my mum and saying to her, "You know what would be really cool?" And "You know what would be really cool?" And she's like, "Yeah, what's that?" And I said, if I could produce a cinematic match with Bray Wyatt, and it's going to be filled with visual effects and prosthetics, and it'll be like a typical horror movie, you know, with visual effects and multiple camera angles and prosthetics and all that stuff, and we're going to call it the Grindhouse match, and it's going to be me versus The Fiend in a movie-styled, choreographed fight cinematic match. And I think that was my top, or at least in the same level as the Boneyard match between AJ Styles and The Undertaker. And my mum was like, "Okay, but can you get?" And then she said, "Can you get someone else to dress up as The Fiend?" And I was like, "No. With the power of Zoom call, I can virtually meet and greet Bray Wyatt and see if I can chat with my idea, because I think that would help me elevate not only me as a YouTuber, but me as a person, you know, and all that. And working with people like him and all the other things would help elevate me as not only a YouTuber, but as a person." And sadly, the whole Grindhouse match, because I was coming up with many ideas to see how that's going to work out, But 2021, the idea was absolutely scrapped when I got the news that Bray Wyatt got released from WWE. So I had to entirely scrap that, and yeah, I had to scrap that whole thing completely entirely when Bray Wyatt got fired from WWE, until he returned in October last year as a new character instead of The Fiend, who goes by the name of Uncle Howdy. When I saw his return last year, and I was like, wow, that is got to be the most best return I've ever seen from Bray Wyatt. And to be honest with you, we're not kidding. Everyone's not kidding. That was the greatest return anyone has ever seen at the time. And sadly, it didn't even last long. It was probably going successful. His new character, his Uncle Howdy character, is going a little bit successful, but it only lasted for like 3, 4 months, 5 months, or something like that, unfortunately, before he went completely silent from WWE. And until he sadly passed away earlier today on August 25th, 2023. And yeah, that was a really hard pill to swallow. And honestly, at the end of the day, regardless if we're WWE fans, wrestling fans, or horror movie fans or not, simply put, you can't deny Bray Wyatt's creative genius within the wrestling business. He creates his characters, he creates his storylines, and he goes with it, and he just goes with it. And that's one of the true things that we all love about Windham Rotunda or Bray Wyatt, is because he creates characters and creates his own storylines, and it makes it great, and it makes WWE watchable. And sadly, there's probably never going to be another one like him, unfortunately. And it's really going to be a tough time to all of it. But aside from his character and his business, I do know that he has a wonderful family, and he has an amazing wife. He's an amazing dad. He has an amazing wife, and he has amazing kids. And of course, he has an amazing brother, Bo Dallas. And yeah, seeing them and hearing about them going through that sort of loss really hurts all of us. It really hurts all of us. So I want to send my condolences, my thoughts and prayers to every single wrestler that knows Bray Wyatt and the entire Bray Wyatt family over this grieving loss. And I know it's really a hard pill to swallow, but I know we are going to get through this. I don't know how, or I don't know when we're going to get through this, but I know we're going to get through it as one unit. I'm just really ashamed that I didn't get a chance to work with Bray Wyatt at all with this Grindhouse match thing. At all. And I really am really ashamed of myself for that. Bray Wyatt, if you're watching this from above, I want to simply say thank you for everything that you've given the fans, given the fans throughout the wrestling industry, and I want to thank you for everything that you've given everyone. Just want to let you know that you have left a wonderful legacy of creating, of very different characters that you create and storylines you've done, and the legacy you leave behind will live on for all eternity, and it will remain an enduring testament to your extraordinary talent. And we're all going to miss you, mate. And we'll never forget you, man. The wrestling world will be changed, man. We'll be heartbroken. And like I said, it's a hard pill to swallow. And just let you know that Bray Wyatt, we'll never forget you, man. We'll love you for all eternity. We'll love you for everything you've done. That's all I've got to say for now. So, Bray Wyatt, thank you. We love you, and we're gonna miss you, bro.
understand exactly who I am, man. And in time, you'll understand exactly what I am capable of, man.
Well, my time went.
What shall it profit a man that gains the world but loses his soul on the way?
Out to my old 55.
Stop lying to your children. You're telling them the monsters are not real. I swear monsters are real.
Only God knows. He's alive. Now the sun's coming up.
Wake up! Wake up and look at this line and live in it, man! The world is deteriorating between their toes, and they do nothing about it. They only stand there, they whisper and wonder, but they never do anything about it. But I've seen it all in my dreams and in my thoughts, and above everything else, I understand.
This is not the beginning. It's the end.
And I lead the parade. Just a wishing I'd stay a little longer. Oh Lord, let me tell you that the feeling getting stronger.
First, they will suffer, and then they will be deleted!
To be on my way. Well, this truck's on
This is the Firefly Funhouse!
And my name is Bray Wyatt.
Yowie wowie! We're gonna have so much fun here!
my time went so quick.